everyone. The last thing I want to look under this section, which is measuring irregular areas, is the trapezoidal rule. Now, I believe this is probably pretty much brand new to a lot of you. What it's about is it allows us to measure and find the area, a rough area at least, of these really weird shapes. So this is an example of a really weird shape. Okay? Now, it's very difficult to find areas like this. So we use trapezoidal to get a very good estimation. So it's very approximate. Okay? And we've created a formula for this. Now, the parts of the formula you've got to be aware of. And the first part is the width. Sorry, wrong button. So when we look at this, the width, you'll notice that this thing is broken up into sections. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sections in total. The width is how wide each one of those sections is. And it has to be broken up into the same width. So when you're looking at these areas, you have to break it up into the same size strips. The end lengths are whatever the values are right here and right here. Now it's possible for those values to be 0. Because as you see, it comes to a point here, so it has no real value there. And the mid-lengths are everything in between. All of the lengths in this section here. Okay? And we put it into our formula there. So when we look at it, it's much easier to understand when you see an example of it. So this is an irregular area, so we're going to use the trapezoidal rule on it. So we write down our formula, and our area equals the width multiplied by the total of n lengths plus 2 times the total of middle lengths Now, this whole bit here is under its own brackets. So once you've done everything in those big square brackets, you need to divide by 2 at the end. So when we look at this, in this question we can see it goes 0, 5, 10, 15, 20. So it's going up in 5. So our width is 5. Now, what we can look at is what is easier to do with these questions is to actually list everything we know. So the width is 5, we can work out the end lengths. In this case, the first length is 15, because that little number is the length. On the end, you'll see at the 40 mark, there is no height. So that is actually 0. So before I said it can be 0. So the total for the end lengths is 15. Now we can look at the mid-lengths. And the mid-lengths will be 16 plus 13 plus 9 keep going, plus 8 plus 11 plus 11 plus 6. And we add all them together, and our mid-length comes to 74 meters. Now, if we do that first, it makes putting stuff in the formula just a lot neater. So, the area equals the width, which is 5, multiplied by the total of the end lengths, which we know is 15, plus 2 times the total of the middle lengths, which we know is 74, and then we divide by 2. So if we do that, we can put that exactly into our calculator, and we end up with 410 meters squared. So that is the trapezoidal rule. So a couple of things I just want to make sure to point out to you. Be careful. Make sure you figure out all of these values first, just to make your life so much easier. when you're putting this into your formula, make sure you do put those brackets in. Something which a lot of people prefer to write rather than this method, exactly like this, is see how they will write it like this instead because it's slightly less confusing. So that is this one here is a second option. Get the exact same result, it just might be easier for you to understand or type in your calculator. So that is the trapezoidal rule. Have a good one.